2nd, 2024, and it's 4 minutes past the hour of 6, and it's really great to have you join us on the Break It On Papers review this morning. My name is GBOLABO, famous school. It's indeed great to have you join us this wonderful Saturday morning. We'll take a look at the front pages of some of the national dailies in Nigeria. We'll take a review of each of the headlines, and in the course of the program, we also do an analysis of some of this development. It's great to have you join us again on the Break It On Papers review on 32 FM 94.9. All right, we'll start off with the Nation newspaper this morning, a number of headlines, and of course a bit of sad news. We're looking at the entertainment scene. Popular Nollywood actor 𝐶𝐶 Quadri dies at 44, and that appears to be the breaking news here on the paper. We also have this one: Naira over 4,000 BDCs lose licenses and CBN crackdown. Anambra lawyer who brutalized mate set to face trial for attempted murder. And more here says police match gang recover 300 million fake CFA, 9 million naira in Lagos. Police arrest 300 level IMC student over killing of final year future student. Kano Hisba Commander Daurawa resigns. A more story here says on the Nation newspaper front page: banks no going back on NIN BVN linkage to account deadline. INEC opens a Edo governorship nomination portal on Monday. We also have more headlines here. In case you're just joining us, this is still the front page of the Nation newspaper. And looking at sport, the sporting arena of the paper, Osimhen's post-AFCON scoring form excites new Napoli boss. And of course, still here, my once upon a time friend, says Laide Bakari, as she links up with Eniola Badmus. And that's also some part of the entertainment news here. And in politics, before we leave the nation, Benue bigger than anyone, says earlier. And of course, all of that are coming from the Nation newspaper this morning. We take a look at the Punch newspaper this morning. I also see a couple of headlines here on the front page of the Punch newspaper. All right, and the Punch front page, we have this one: NIN linkage, banks may block 70 million accounts. And more says, as agitators advocate more funding for amnesty program. How troops arrested 271 suspects in Plateau. That's according to police. Police arrest couple orders for PGs and fake currencies. Army kills 3 terrorists, recovers machine gun. Shell to tackle Nigeria's power problems with off-grid renewable energy. Why 4,173 Bureau change operators' licenses were revoked. Of course, explanation coming from the Central Bank of Nigeria. I developed cancer on my legs after insect bite. Double amputee businessman gives reasons. More here says how troops arrested 271 suspects in Plateau. That's according to police. And more here says 2 die in Anambra road crash. Still on the front page of the Punch newspaper, PDP moves to reconcile Edo PDP members ahead of election. And we have this one: political class abusing public trust shows no remorse. Professor Jinadu coming up with that. And before we leave the Punch newspaper front page, from the sporting arena, AFCON 2023 major highlight of my career, young noble, giving that as an update. We also move over now to the Guardian. And on the front page of the Guardian, Nigeria fines Binance $10 million. All right, that appears to be the big story here on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. So much pop-up on the front page of the paper this morning. Let's take a look at the front page all over again. We have this one: how NAS sabotage bids to that keeps being blocked. We'll come back to the Guardian newspaper. Let's move over to the Premium Times and take some headlines. Update: CBN revokes operating licenses of 4,173 BDCs NLC to Tinubu, leave politicking, address hunger, unemployment facing Nigerians. And we have this one, Lafarge Africa reports, first profit drop in 6 years after surge and tax backlog. How explosion at Abuja Georgia's residence killed 3. Nigeria government slams $10 billion fine on Binance. And we also have this one, gender matter across Nigeria, March 2024 edition. Okay, that is coming from the Premium Times. All the top story here also says current weather condition could worsen. Meningitis outbreak in Nigeria, coming from NIMET. He wants NIMET, an agency of the government, has warned. All right, before leaving the Premium Times, let's also look at more headlines. Tinubu appoints new executive director for TCN. All of that are making the headlines here on the front page of the Premium Times. Let's quickly take a look at the cable NG this morning. I also take some headlines here on the cable this morning. All right, it's still the Breaking On Papers review here on 32 FM 94.9, and of course, let's take a look at the cable NG and get along with some few stories here on the front page of the cable NG this morning. News engine for us this morning. Okay, we may have to refresh this a little bit. All right, we're there, and we have this one. TUC to Tinubu, it's our right to protest. We are not politicians. All right, Naira ends rally, depreciates to 1,600 Naira per dollar at parallel market. Mambila Agoloye sues EFCC, demands 1 billion Naira for unlawfully declaring him wanted here, and that's the headline. We also have this one, NLC Tinubu to Tinubu, we are not after your job. Nigerians deserve tangible results, not empty promises, coming from the NLC. And we have this one too, CBN revokes licenses of 4,173 BDCs. Tinubu reappoints Kenny Anuwe as CEO of Federal Government of Nigeria Power Company, names new management team. And we have this from the Sporting side. Bissero quits Super Eagles as contract runs out. Telecom subscribers to NCC extend deadline for barring linked line by 30 days. All right, let's also see if you could take some few headlines before joining Austin Odimo for the analysis this morning. We also have this one. Matawale asks military to adopt proactive approach against insecurity. I was never invited by EFCC over alleged corruption, says ex-Nakon boss. And the last one here says police arrest couple ex-soldier for printing fake currency in Lagos. All right, this is some of the headlines here on the front page of the cable this morning. And Austin Udumri is standing by to do some of the analysis with us this morning. Austin, can you hear me? Good morning. All right, can you hear me, Austin? Good morning.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, it's great to have you join us on the Break It On People's Review this morning.
Thank you for having me once again.
Yeah. All right, there are a number of headlines there, Austin, and it has to still do with some of the policies of the Tinubu government. And how much more the government is not taking chances in terms of some of development here. Now, let's look at the NCC and this deadline of SIM NIN linkage. Well, many people have said so many things about this particular linkage. And now 70 million subscribers are going to be cut off if this is implemented. Going by some of the headlines this morning. Yes, I have this one. NIN linkage, banks may block 70 million accounts. 70 million. And now we're talking about a population of some people that are even unbanked, that we've been saying that we want to go cashless. And that's why we have a Mefele rolling out all of those policies at that time during the Buhari administration. Now we have this administration also coming up with fresh policies like linking your bank account to your NIN, and now 70 million accounts. What do you think is going to happen in Nigeria?
Well, I think First of all, the government, through the regulatory authority, had to look at it again. Don't also forget we are a deadline country. This process ought to have started since December. But the type of people we are, we have to wait for almost the last time before the rush will begin, coupled with the so many economic challenges within the country. It will be very difficult to compel or persuade someone who is hungry and angry to now think of leaking their BVN with their NIN. Excuse me. The first thing that happened, I think sometimes ago, was the linking of NIN to our SIM card. Now it is the linkage of our BVN to our NIN. It's a welcome development. Of course, it will be able to maintain a central identification for individual, especially to also tackle insecurity in the country.
But Austin, do you honestly think that this is a seamless process? Because the Nigerians need to queue up. Because even if you look at the front page of the Punch newspaper, you could see more crowd trying to raise up their hands, and this has been the pattern. Is this a seamless process? And now the Nigerians are asking for extra 30 days to be able to enable them have this verification being done. But we've had a number of biometrics in this country. Is it that the government does not have a database to have all of these information? Do they have to go through this process over and over again?
We are not a data country. You know what it means to collect data in Nigeria. Even our population is an estimated population. We do estimate. Our electricity tariff is estimated billing. So we are a country of estimates. We can't make accurate projection. That is why we are where we are today. I'm of the opinion that 30 days is even too short. But within that window, a lot of people can get into the process. At the end of the day, we'll go from there, because I feel that it should be done in phases. After 30 days, we review the situation, then we can give more number of days. As for being seamless, I don't think it can be seamless, because of the weak technological infrastructure that we have. These are something that you are even supposed to be able to do on your own, on the tap of your phone, and you do it. In a more saner and more organized society, we have what we call the social insurance number. It's everywhere, all over the world. Anything that you want to do, once they don't even need so many information from you, just put your social insurance number, and that number will bring everything about you. That is what it ought to be in a more organized setting. Let's hope and believe that the government going forward will be able to get it right. We want a situation where our driver's license will be linked to our BVN, will be linked to our NIN, so that if the issue of identity theft will be eliminated. Because there are some other societies that once a crime is committed, you'll be able to attack such a crime, verify such a crime, and make lawful arrests. Not unlike in Nigeria, where people do some things and get away with it. You still see the issue of identity theft and what have you. So I feel so strongly that the government need to allow for more window in terms of timing, for more people to be able to come in, like what happened during the BVN those days. Time factors, time windows were given up to time, and a lot of people came into the net. So this time around, let government give us more time, and let people announce and utilize the time. The truth of the matter is that even if you give 365 days, there are some people that will wait for that 365 days, the last day, to go and queue for it.
But Austin,
we don't have to
must we do what the government asks us to do? I'm just asking this question from another point or another angle here. Now, if the government keeps saying, bring your data, bring your statistics, and we keep giving the government, and we don't know what these statistics are being used for, people are still being kidnapped. People's bank identity are still being stolen. Some funds that have been stolen have not been refunded by some of these corporate organizations. I've seen instances of some POS machines being, they do a lot of fraudulent things, and of course you have those who are operating it going to the bank to say they want to reclaim their monies, and the bank will outrightly say they can't trace how they were defrauded. And now, don't we need to ask the questions, government questions, like what are you doing with our statistics, our data? Where are you keeping them? For what purpose? Do we do everything? Do we go through all of these pains, and at the end of the day, we don't get any result? Why should we queue up again to say we are linking our bank account with our NIN? How safe is it? Of what extent? Shouldn't we ask questions?
Yes, we have been asking a lot of questions. That's just the truth. The purpose of this is to be able to come up with a central database that in the nearest future, it will become seamless. You'll be able to track who and what in terms of financial regulation and what have you. The process is not seamless for now. The government needs to improve in terms of our data collection for accurate economic projection. Having said that, as for the fact that must we do everything the government wants us to do, it's just like saying you are on your own. If you feel that you don't want to do it, you can go ahead and not do it. After some time, your banking services will be suspended and you take it up from there. Don't also forget too, the issue of tracking of funds has also improved. Tracking of funds by financial institution has also improved compare or unlike what it used to be. So it's something that I have adequate information about. I can talk authoritatively as far as that is concerned. Tracking of funds today is better than what it used to be. The idea of fund tracking, on another hand, is that you see people gullibly disclosing their bank information, and at the end of the day, they will lose money in the process. They think banks are for their Christmas. Once you just get to the bank, they claim. We have seen a situation where a customer will be called by a fraudster. They will say, "Oh, I'm calling from so bank," and the customer or the individual will release their bank detail. After releasing their bank detail, they will now call the account officer and say, somebody called me from your bank. Did you release your detail? Yes, I released my detail. If you have my number as your account officer, why didn't you call me before releasing your detail? And I can also tell you authoritatively that most of the fraudulent transactions that goes on in people's account, they are as a result of carelessness on the release of personal banking detail, especially the BVN. If I give you my account number and my account name, for example, you can't do anything with my account. But if I give you my BVN, it becomes a problem. I become liable at the end of the day. So the issue of tracking of funds is a lot easier compared to what it used to be in the time past. As for the BVN NIN leakage, let government improve on their area of data services, and let financial institutions too also create an enabling environment. Like you said, I share the sentiment too. We don't have to continue to queue every now and then. Some of these things are supposed to be done automatically. Maybe from the tap of our phone, you check it out, and at the end of the day, we are good to go. So that is where we are today as a country. We can't deny that fact. However, there is need for improvement.
All right, let's also look at what the Central Bank of Nigeria came up with recently. It went ahead to clamp down on what appears to be Bureau de Change. And now we have licenses of about 4,173 Bureau de Change operators being revoked. Are we going to be seeing more street crimes? Because they are saying that they are trying to fight anti-money laundering, countering of financing of terrorism, and counter-proliferation financing. Now, would we have more miscreants on the streets? Because obviously, when people who have been trying to eke out a living doing this kind of job have been stripped of their licenses, meaning that some of their workers too will have to go. Now, what will happen to the streets if you look at this particular policy itself?
This is what we call good riddance to bad rubbish, if you ask me. There is proliferation. Government is not saying that there shouldn't be BDC. there is high level of proliferation. Have you taken your time to go through these BDC names that were just delisted? You have Give and Take BDC, Chelsea BDC, Oyoyo BDC, Give and Collect BDC, all manner of funny names parading themselves as BDC. And at the end of the day, we have illicit forest trade within our country that cannot be traced. Over 26 to 30 billion naira, 30 billion US dollar did not pass through the CBN. How do you marry that in an economy? See, whether people are thrown to the street or not, without sounding immodest, I beg your pardon. The truth of the matter is that anybody who is engaged in any business to undermine and to destroy the economy of the country, whatever that happened to them, that is their consequence. Go to Sabo, for example. How many people are registered? Do you think all these people by the roadside, they are registered BDC operator? They are not registered BDC operator. They are just racketing the system, the one that is popularly called baranda. That is what they do. They speculate along the road. They will be selling dollar. What I want the CBN, the federal government through the CBN to do, we have told the president what to do. It should criminalize the use of dollar cash in Nigeria. And if you are holding more than 1,000 US dollar, you must make appropriate declaration. Why are we trying to dollarize the economy of Nigeria? Is dollar our national currency? Nigeria is about the only country where this forest madness happens, where you have a situation where forest price can change within a day, maybe like 3, 4, 5 times. Who does that? These people are speculating at the detriment of our economy. So whatever the government has to do for them, the government is not against anybody. What the government is doing is that we are initiating a paradigm shift. The CBN governor said after the Monetary Policy Committee meeting that there is going to be more aggressive regulatory action. And if the government wants to do that, they should go ahead and do it. At the end of the day, you find out that those who legitimately need forest, the manufacturer, maybe those who want to pay for medical bill, those who want to go for study outside the country, they don't have access to it. And some people are stashed them in their private vault, in their private residence. So for me, I think the decision of the CBN is a welcome development. They should take a step further to sanitize the system. We are not saying that it is the activity of this bureau de change that is the only cause of the problem. We need to also show up production, because if we increase production, we also have the capacity and stand the chance to gain more forest in terms of forest earning. However, there are a lot of illicit operation going on within the FS market, which I think the government had to look into. So what the government through the CBN is simply doing is that, the laws that hitherto have not been obeyed before, we want to bring them into operation. GBOLABO, look at it now. 4,173 have been delisted. Some are still registered. Some have been verified. These are with pseudo names that are very funny. Some of them have no documents. Some of them have not renewed their license for over 10 years. And you call them BDC operator, and you are afraid that people will be thrown into the labor market. Are they NSC or TUC? I think we should be able to move on as a country. Where there is no law, there is no offense. And where there is a law, the law must be adequately implemented.
Now, Austin, can we make sense out of this Binance? For instance, what appears to be back and forth with the government and the Binance company itself. Onanuga denies $10 billion fine claim against Binance, says he was misrepresented. And that's a special advisor on the information and strategy to President Bola Tinubu by Onanuga, saying that he made it clear that he never claimed crypto trading platform Binance was aware of $10 billion penalty, or the Nigerian regulators decided same. Now, I don't know what's going on within is it fiscal policy now of the government? It's like it's so much. We have a number of policies around cryptocurrency and of course digital trading. There was a time we're supposed to have a wallet that the CBN came up with, the e-wallet. I don't know what happened to it. Now, many Nigerians were even finding it difficult to understand some of these policies and how it operates. Before you a blink of an eye, another one comes forth. Now, with this recent Binance back and forth, what is the Tinubu government trying to make out of this?
The Tinubu government is trying to strictly regulate the financial market, especially the FS market, for the purpose of sustainability in terms of FS liquidity. If you look at it very well, there was a time, I hope you still remember Aboki FS. I hope you remember.
Right.
There was a time Aboki FS was banned. That did not improve the fortune of our currency. Now, the government, through the CBN, has come out to do a critical analysis that this Binance, over 26 billion US dollar, passed through it without having record with the banking system, without having record with the CBN. So what the government is saying is that, you cannot just sit down in your office, manipulate the forex market, set parallel market rates at the detriment of the economy. You understand? So that is what the government is doing. I told you the activity of this BDC operator. You and I go to our places of work in the morning. Some of them just hang around the road, and within a day, they can make millions of naira
Austin,
for doing nothing. They are not doing anything. They are only speculating.
Are these the immediate solutions to the myriad of problems we have in Nigeria? Because trying to clean up the economy with so much policies on ground, can the government hit the ground running? Because it appears that Tinubu government is also running. Before we know it, is already 4 years. And he's been saying he's tackling corruption, he's fighting this and that, he's cleaning up the economy. And our Nigerians are not even seeing the impact. Many Nigerians are groaning. People are getting desperate and frustrated. Now, you also have the Senate saying they're going to probe ways and means under Buhari. Why can't this government pick one thing at a time, get it done with? We talked about subsidy. How much money is the government making from subsidy? How come people are not having things being subsidized like food? We talked about so many policies that the government can get out of just one economic policy, that is subsidy removal. The government hasn't fixed that. We're jumping to ways and means, we're jumping to finance, to Binance. And now we're also looking at cryptocurrency. We're looking at BDCs. Aren't this just too much for a government to tackle at once? Shouldn't the government get focused on just one thing and get it right, then move to the next issue entirely?
It's not done that way, GBOLABO. At times, most of us forgot how we actually got here. That's the truth of the matter. The economy has been so bastardized that the government has to touch on every area. We are talking about forests. Look at certain policy that the CBN has come up with now. There is relative stability. I was about to making a point before you almost truncated my thought. Look at the issue of Binance, for example. That is not the only solution. What the government is saying is that those people who have no business with forests, we have to cut them out. It ought not to be so. A situation where illicit forest activity will be going on. Having dealt with Binance, government must also look for a way to improve and sustain liquidity within the system. Liquidity is key because, for example, if people are able to get it from the authorized sources, they won't go through the back channel. They won't go through the back channel. In short, Nigeria is about the only country where we trade our currency on the streets. It ought not to be so. So whatever effort that the government need to put in, we can't tell government not to bring in policy because a lot of problem has been created before today. And it takes a lot of efforts, policy regulation, to be able to sanitize and clean the mess that has been created. That's the truth of the matter. Look at the FS claim that the CBN is verifying. Over 2.4 billion could not be verified. some people were getting FS allocation for doing nothing. Those that are not supposed to get it. So the system has been bastardized. There's rottenness in the system. But because we are hungry, everybody is hungry, we felt that the hunger started today. We don't know that there is what we call ripple effect in simple economy. There is ripple effect. All of these things that we are seeing today, they are as a result of failure on the part of successive government to deploy adequate and right policy to be able to reflate the economy. You talk about fuel subsidy removal, for example. Do you know that PIA, if you study the Petroleum Industry Act, for example, there is no way subsidy can continue to go. Government can continue to pay subsidy. Look at 2023, for example. The Buhari administration only made provision till June. That is paper provision, legislative provision. The NNPC later came out that even from January 2023 to June, no financial obligation was made by the government as far as subsidy was concerned. So, quote and unquote, technically, subsidy have even been removed before this administration came and the president said subsidy was gone. In my view, that was the mistake the president made by saying it on the day of inauguration that subsidy is gone. You understand? Because based on reality on ground, subsidy was either to remove even before Tinubu came, because the government only made provision till June. There's no money to continue to pay subsidy till June. And the NNPC came out to say that even the January to June that the government claimed it made provision for, that there was nothing on ground, no financial obligation. Let me also shock you. Are you aware that the previous administration also sold crude oil in advance? They did what they call forward sales. So as we produce now, we are supplying those that are buying from us. We are not getting money because the previous administration has collected money from them. If this government want to attack that now, some of us will come out and say, no, we should not fix everything. We should pick one thing, maybe because people are hungry. And the issue of hunger and inflation in the system is also deliberately orchestrated by some powerful people among us. We have government problem as far as all of these are concerned, but we also have artificial problem. The issue of manipulation. Individuals are also making life difficult for individuals in our country. It's as bad as that, because you can never tell me that you go to a shop in the morning and buy a pack of Indomie for 8,000 and you come back that same day to buy and they will tell you it's 10,000. What has happened within those periods? They are just speculating and making life difficult for the common man because we have a problem at hand. So these are a lot of issues that have been created within our economy. And for somebody that wants to put things right, it's going to be extremely difficult. We are going to pay the price for this. All of this that we are doing today, if we had done it like 10, 15 years ago, our country would have been better off for this. But the problem I have with the government is that let charity begin at home. Leadership must be by example. If you ask me to make sacrifice, the president too must make sacrifice. The senators too must make sacrifice. Those that are in government must make sacrifice. It's not only the masses that should continue to make sacrifice in Nigeria. So that's the way I see things.
All right, Austin, let's look at insecurity a little bit. Army kills 3 terrorists, recovers machine gun. And now the Nigerian Army, in collaboration with a hybrid force and the civilian joint force, has killed 3 suspected terrorists during a raid at their hideouts in the Timbuktu Triangle in the Lake Chad region. The question many Nigerians will want to ask is that how do these terrorists get access to machine gun? Now we talk about complicity of some of our security architecture in Nigeria, and it speaks volume as it is. Now we have the president as the chief security officer of the entire country as it stands. And now if you look at all of this development, is there a political solution to all of this? How can we address instances of complicity? How does this terrorist have access to such kind of upgraded weapons and ammunition, even when the police are saying they are not well weaponized to fight some of the crimes within the society?
Yes, it's a very big problem, and insecurity has also contributed to the economic mess that we find ourselves, especially as it relates to food insecurity. in our country. Having said that, I think there is a lot of improvements by our military. They only need to sustain the tempo and be more coordinated by robust synergy among the security forces within the country. There is a lot of sabotage within the system. The Nigerian Army, if you look at the news during this week, have decided to court-martial a lot of their personnel for offenses ranging from seize of weapons to the enemy of the state. We have a lot of this. Do you know how many AK-47 we lost as a country to the NSAS protests? I hope you are aware of that. So we have more than ample ways by which sophisticated weapons that either to belong to our security outfit now find itself in the hands of our enemy, non-state actors who are the enemies of the state. So the government have also done something about mop-up of small arms and light weapons. In the past, that didn't work. What the government can also do in the interim is to arm local security outfits. Because, for example, if we have Amotekun, nothing in my view should stop Amotekun from using AK-47. If the daredevil non-state actors, enemy of the state, if they are coming with their RPG, let state security operative also have RPG to be able to tackle them. If they know that the weapon you have, I also have, they won't be able to attack. That's the truth of the matter. So all of this, we have the issue of legislation. The government will say, no, we are going to do this. The mop-up of arms in those days under President Muhammadu Buhari also contributed to the problem that we are facing today, because you ask innocent Nigerians to submit their arms, while those that are enemy of the state, they continue to have access to automatic weapons. It ought not to be so. So there are bad eggs within the system. Let the government purge the security outfit across the country and let the service chief put their feet on the ground. They must be ruthless, they must be brutal, they must be decisive. The enemy of the state must be dealt with. We have banditry, that is another form of terrorism. All of these people must be defeated. So the Nigerian Army has tried in recent time. Let them continue to do more, because as it is today, their best is not enough for the country. And we also challenge the president to deploy political doggedness in terms of political will to be able to deal with insecurity. Because when you solve the problem of insecurity, the problem of the nation is half solved. We must defeat insecurity in our land. We must defeat terrorism. We must defeat banditry. So whatever the government has to do, in my personal view, I think that the service chief should be given a timeline. Within 6 months, if you are not able to do this, you are out of the game. That is the way I see it personally.
All right,
so we must sustain the tempo of fight against insecurity in our country, and all hands must be on deck.
All right, Austin, things are really getting very serious. Now, looking at these headlines on Punch newspaper, protests erupt in Jos prison over food ration reduction. And you also have somewhere, and Daily Post, it's we have NLC Ajero president, as NLC president Ajero, saying that Tinubu should stop playing politics. He should address the issues of hunger and unemployment facing Nigeria. If you look at these two developments itself, now prisoners who don't even know how much more what is going on outside the four walls of the prison that they are in are not willing to take orders from the marshals, from the custodial officials within the prison system, refusing to take their breakfast, saying that their food has been reduced. Now, I don't know, should Tinubu look at the set of team he has, because he's the arrowhead, and of course he has his team to advise him as to what to do. Now, obviously, does it look like they're getting it right? Does he need to tell some of them to go? Because we can have a Wale Edun of this world, a Cardoso, and the economy is like in a despair. We keep saying things are improving, but Nigerians are getting more poorer. People are getting desperate. Even people locked up are complaining. Now, should Tinubu take off what appears to be the big cap is wearing so that he can see properly and look at the cabinet structure that he has and do the needful?
Of course, I agree 100% that some of the cabinet members should go. Majority of them are bench warmers. That's just the truth. But don't also forget, we didn't find ourselves in this mess overnight. And I don't think we are going to migrate or transit from this level overnight. The same way we got to this level through a gradual process, it's going to take concerted effort and a gradual process to also live here. Those prisoners, I pity them so much. Those that are not in prison are finding it difficult to feed, let alone those that are in the prison. Even before things really got bad in our country, prisoners are not getting what they are supposed to get. You look at the quality of their book. Am I talking about prisoners? What of those that are at the orientation camp for NYC? I remember when I served, for example, we were not prisoners. The economy was still far better than what it is today. After cooking egusi soup, they will pour water. In our very eye, we will be on the queue. They will pour water on the egusi. If they cook beans, the beans will be watery. And yet, state governors, federal government voted large sum of money per copper.
I'm sorry, Austin, to butt in, but we have to pay some bills. Please hold your line of thought. We'll come back to that very shortly. Do stay with us.
32 FM
94.9.
Now, what does it mean to be the overall best? Is it the overall accolades or the overall bragging rights? Is it the roar of the crowd cheering your name over all others? Introducing Overall Best Celebrity Showdown on Africa Magic, where big names play big games. Watch Saturday and Sunday from the 3rd of March as 3 squads led by 6 celebrity captains go head-to-head for 7 straight weeks of fun, games, and fierce competition for the title of Overall Best. From Africa Magic Showcase, Urban and Family. Stay connected to DSTV. It's your moment.
kò bá jẹ́ 24 29 tàbí 32 ṣáà ti fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú wa lórí ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ Facebook kàn tẹ 32FM 949 fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀.
ọ̀kọ̀lọ́kọ̀ mariaba làwọn sálà mariaba làwọn sálà oṣù ìkéde ramadana mariaba làwọn sálà. múmínì pẹ̀lú múmínà 32 FM kí wa 94.9 yìí ni wípé àkó àmójúbà Ramadan oṣù kẹtùndé ọyẹ ẹjẹ aṣọ nígbàwọ iye tá a gbára bá ká ìṣẹ́jú márùn-ún ìṣẹ́jú mẹ́wàá ìṣẹ́jú mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dógún ọgbọ̀n ìṣẹ́jú wákàtí kan lọ́wọ́ tí kò gara lọ ní 32 FM 94.9 fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé ẹ lè pa alága Ramadan ẹlò ẹlòmí ṣàyẹ̀dùn 07083196095 kọ́lá mọ́bẹ̀ yìí sópin a ó ṣe púpọ̀ ọdún láyé.
32 FM 94.9.
for the top 10 banging songs across Nigeria.
Top 10 super songs across Africa.
The Top 10 Countdown is your show.
Saturdays 12 to 1 p.m. with 𝐷𝐿 and King Kenny. When the big names talk, they talk to us. Join GBOLABO Famous Call and her team of panelists on the podium
By 9 a.m. every Saturday for a deep dive into trending political and socio-economic issues.
Get in on the action with Betano, your exciting destination for sports betting. Enjoy an award-winning experience with amazing betting options, cash outs and missions, as well as other features. Join now and get a welcome bonus of up to 200,000 naira. Betano.ng, the game starts now.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM 94.9, the antidote to depression.
All right, you're welcome back. It's still on to Break It On People's Review here on 32 FM 94.9. And of course, do remember we are live on Facebook, 32 FM 949 Fenye with double E's. And that's 2 E's. 32 FM 949 Fenye on Facebook. And also, we'll open the phone lines, but Austin has a line of thoughts before we went on that short commercial break. Let me read out the numbers. The numbers are 070-55,949 or 080-979,949. And for our international audience, you can call +234 90 62,949. All right, Austin. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, please go ahead with your line of thoughts.
Yes, the area that I want to also touch on, based on the story you read, was the aspect of the president and the NSC. The president saying that NSC should wait for 2027. I think the president is seeing it from the angle that NSC has threatened a number of strike for his administration that is just 9 months old. A lot of people are faulting NSC for that the rate at which NSC threatens strike under this administration, if that is the way NSC have always done, some of the bad governance that has taken place in the time past would have taken place. However, I think the Tinubu government really need to look at it critically. It willingly enter into an agreement with the NSC on the aftermath of the subsidy removal. You were not under duress to sign those agreements. Guns were not pointed at your head to sign those agreements. So it is a good thing that a man makes an agreement and honor his word. There's a saying that if a man speaks and you meet it like that, that is the honor and the dignity of a man. So I employ the Tinubu administration to put politics aside and look at some of these agreements. NSC is not asking for what is too much. They are simply asking for the implementation of the agreement the government willingly signed. Tinubu administration must ensure that it does not continue to toe the path of previous administration for inability or flagrant disregard for an agreement it made by itself. When NSC came out to demand 1 million naira minimum wage, we said they were just playing. But when it comes to the issue of an agreement that the federal government willingly enter into, that is the area where I think the president should address. If you promise wage award, why did you pay 1 month and you stopped it? Now that the NSA has made noise, then you decide to pay 2 more. Why?
All right, those are rhetorical questions, Austin. The numbers again for you to call in is still the Break It On Papers Review here on 32FM 94.9. The numbers are 070-55,949 or 080-979,949. For our international audience, +234 90 62,949. Those are the numbers to call. I hope you're not having issues with the phone lines. All right, we are also live on Facebook, 32FM 949 Fenya, both on Facebook and also on YouTube. In case you want to drop your comments there, we are live. And we have this one on Facebook. Okediran Babatunde says, all right, good morning to you. Okediran, he says, kudos to the police for nabbing those with fake currencies. They should do the needful to arrest other accomplices. They are economic saboteurs and should not be spared. All right, let's also look at all the comments here. Still, Okediran Babatunde saying Nigeria is too big for an individual to govern. It is because it was poorly managed. Hence, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was given the mandate to come and revive it. We need not pity him at all. Let us pursue aggressive restructuring and possibly go regional. Things are getting complicated. All right, while we're working the phone lines, let me read out the numbers again. 070-55,949. All right, we have a caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, GBOLABO.
Good morning. What's your name and where you're calling us from?
Good morning, Mr. Austin. My name is Tolu. I'm calling from Cheltenham in UK. Good morning.
All right, good morning. How is UK this morning?
Yeah, very cold and raining.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Quickly, I think we should just give this administration a bit of credit. I think lately they are waking up. I don't want a situation whereby everybody blatantly condemns whatever they do. What is it about this Binance ban that people are getting worked up over it? People are saying it's not the solution. Let us agree it's not the solution. It's going to get the country worse. Let us agree. So why are you worked up? I mean, government must have done something right there. Maybe some people are doing exactly what they said they are doing. Because I don't understand the force about this Binance thing. Is Binance your currency? Just because very few, some people are coming with the argument that if they know the number of people that are trading on Binance have made to be employed, then they won't be toiling with it. So if 0.01% of the population is making money by trading our Naira on Binance, does it mean the government should leave them? Good day and have a nice day. Let me allow other people to call in. Have a nice program.
All right, thank you so much, Tolu, for that. We're hoping that the phone lines are not having issues. We'll call out the numbers again and we'll try to also work on that. 070550949. Okay. For if you're having a little bit of hard times connecting with the two lines, you can call this one +234 90 62,000 949. The numbers again 90 62,000 949. That's 90 62,000 949. You can add +234 in case you're outside the country. 90 62,000 949. We're also still live on Facebook and also on YouTube in case you also want to drop your comments. 32FM 949 Fenye is with 2 E's in case you want to drop your comments there. Very much live on Facebook and also on YouTube. All right, good morning.
My name is Benga Mario calling from Afata.
All right, please go ahead, Benga.
Now I come to you with the family of the Nollywood actor that's 𝐶𝐈𝐒 on his family. May God rest his soul. Then on the issue of the NSC, I think NSC has done what is expected of them. President Bola Tinubu said that we shouldn't be saying that he requested for the president job and he's ready to do the work. So why is he crying foul that the NSC, if they want to contest for an election, they should wait till 2027. That's the political message to them. And thank God that the NSC said what they wanted from me is just to ensure that there's no much hunger in the land. And as well, I'm joining the NSC to tell the president that what we want is we don't want hunger in the land. We want the high rate inside of living. Price of goods are skyrocketed. We want to go to the president as a matter of urgency to do something on those things I've mentioned. And if those things can be done, I think the masses will be free relief and they will create administration. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Benga, for that. The numbers again 090 62,000 949 90 62,000 949. That's the number we're connecting with this morning. +234 90 62,000 949 for you to call in. And of course, we're still live on Facebook and also on YouTube. 32FM 949 Fenye. That's the place to actually watch out for and drop some of your comments here. All right, we still have Austin Eduma doing this analysis with us this morning. Austin, do you want to react to some of these things here? Okay, we have another caller. Hello, good morning. Okay, Austin, do you want to react to some of the things being said, like the Binance that Tolu talked about, that we don't really have any business concentrating so much energy on it?
Yes, that is our major problem in the country. We will complain that things are not working fine. If government takes steps to make sure things work fine, we will still criticize.
Okay, sorry, Austin, we have a caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. This is John calling from Ajo.
All right, please go ahead,
On the issue of food and Mr. President, I think Mr. President needs to stop the plain politics every time. Or maybe we just throw the jab or whatever, because I think it's a time to seriously the government. NFA, whether it's a people, something or whatever, the way Mr. President sees, because I understand Mr. President when he talk about if NSC wanted to do the politics, they should meet in 2027, because they have spoken to political parties, because that's how they did when they were in opposition. They always use them. Then, when they were in opposition, then So that was why the president talk like that. But all the same, as far as you promise these people, you did not have a meeting with them when you removed the subsidy. You promised them that you will give them so amount because of the removal of the subsidy. At the end of the day, you only pay them 1 month and you stop. So many promises that you make, even the nano something or whatever that Mr. President said. He even said about manufacturing dividends for money. There is nothing Mr. President did. We in Nigeria are supposed to even come out and protest because he also promised that you are going to be giving them 25,000. You also give that one once and you stop. So Mr. President, you stop play politics like NS rightly said. This is time to talk about the government and to serious about the government. And Mr. President, we even think about second time. That's what Mr. President thinking too much about it. Thank you, good morning.
All right, thank you so much. Our time is fast spent. Austin, we have to leave the studios right about now. Any last shot from you as we leave the studio?
The last word is God bless Nigeria. Let's give government the benefit of the doubt. Let's see whatever they can do. 9 months is too early to throw the baby away with the bathwater.
All right, on that note, I must say a big thank you to you, Austin Edime, for doing this with us this morning. And to all our callers and those who send your messages in, thank you a lot. My name is GBOLABO, Famous School, and Baba Fendo is up next.